it creates a chilling effect, right? Like, I'm sure, we're all in media, and I'm sure everyone has gotten a very aggressive defamation training
I don't.
because now they're suing everyone for everything.
I don't recall that.
Yes, I'd call your lawyer then, but it's like, and because in the sense is that that there's someone is watching you and they are going to make, and even if they can't win the case, they can get your case either to discovery, they can just make you pay a bunch of money and lawyer fees, and for media, it's like, this is Trump suing Ann Selzer for an incorrect poll in an election he won, right?
Right. That's the Iowa pollster who said
Yes.
that he was doing worse than he was actually doing.
But still winning. Right?
But still winning. Yeah,
Yes.
That's exactly right.
And like that could have bankrupted the newspaper there if they eventually dropped that suit. And that affects everyone. It affects every company now has to make a decision. Like, we have just been through this with media companies. Like, is it worth, should you just settle and maybe pay a price for it over the course of your business or not?
Right.
Like, you have talked about this a lot. And it does, some people will stand up. Wilmer Hill stood up, folks in the media have stood up, but not everyone stands up. Right. And you have to do that. And then now everyone in society is doing that cost benefit analysis of, is this worth the potential blowback that I am going to get if I become targeted?
And by the way, it's not just about the people that are on the air. And we saw that ABC paid 15. CBS, we just saw, paid 15 for a nothing just to get that merger through. And by the way, the FCC chairman, getting back to our guardrails, shit posts like Colbert and CBS. Like, the FCC chair, the guy who's responsible for this, is just out there like, yeah, motherfucker, how's my ass taste? Like,
I missed that one. That one I missed.
Thank you. The president weighed in on Jay Powell again today, you might have seen. He said that he's considering allowing a major lawsuit against Powell to proceed because of the, quote, horrible, engrossing, incompetent job he has done. Can you tell us about that? What lawsuit is he talking about?
He's considering a lawsuit, and I won't speak on it any further. I will allow the president to do that himself.
Is it fair to say the administration is considering suing the Fed chair over this renovation?
That's what the president is saying.
Has he had discussions with anyone about this, or is this just how advanced is this right now?
At this moment in time, the president is considering a lawsuit against the Fed, and I will leave it to him to comment further on it.
Will Trump sue Fox for their methodology in polling?
Mm-hmm.
Two great questions. Let me hit the first one first. As for CBS and the White House Correspondents Association dinner, it was laughable. They gave an award to a journalist for talking about Biden's mental incompetence. He wrote a story about it years after the American people knew that story to be true. Didn't take much, just 2 eyes and 2 ears to realize that Joe Biden was completely inept, was unfit to serve as president of the United States. And nobody in the legacy media, nobody in this city wanted to talk about it. In fact, I recall being on President Trump's campaign and calling out Joe Biden's cognitive decline. And we were accused of manufacturing deepfakes. My predecessor accused us for manufacturing deepfakes from the White House podium when she knew and everybody in this White House knew the true status of Joe Biden's physical and mental fitness. And the mainstream media allowed that cover-up to take place because they refused to dig for the truth. They tried to get the American people not to believe their own eyes. It is truly one of the greatest cover-ups and scandals in American history. And again, this is why we are welcoming independent journalists and social media influencers and content creators into the White House with open arms, because all of you in this room and many of your colleagues in independent journalism talked about this online. Nobody gave you credence as far as the legacy media is concerned. And now they host cocktail parties where they're applauding each other and patting each other on the back for uncovering the truth. It was years later, and it's truly sad to see. But again, that's why we're making much needed and long overdue changes. As for the lawsuit against CBS, the president and his legal team fully intend to carry this lawsuit forward. The president put out a very strong statement in regard to that and fake news CBS this morning. And then as for the Fox News poll, president's right. These are fake polls. They overpoll Democrats. They underpoll President Trump's supporters. It's always been the case for media polls. They consistently underestimate President Trump's support amongst the public. That's why we don't really blink when we see them, to be honest with you. We're staying focused on the mission and moving forward. The president knows everything he's doing is exactly what he promised the American public he would do. And if you look at the key issues in the polling, the president is still ahead because Americans know he is delivering on them, on those issues for them. And if you look at the methodology, you're right. They're over-polling Democrats, underpolling Republicans.
I mentioned that framing of fighting versus folding. I said we're seeing it happen in real time at CBS. We're seeing it at other places as well. And I think it's notable that when some outlets fold, when some institutions fold, others stand up stronger and start to fight. In fact, we've seen startup news outlets start to be born out of this tumultuous time in the industry. So it'll be very interesting to see what CBS ultimately does in this case. Sherry Redstone might decide she has a lot of money at stake with this deal. She has a lot of money to gain by getting her merger approved. She also has a lot of money she might lose if it's not approved. She might find it from a corporate point of view to be the right thing to do to settle with Trump, to make this lawsuit go away. But I remember we interviewed experts back on the day Trump sued CBS last October. They called the lawsuit frivolous. They called it ridiculous. They called it junk. And those assessments still stand to be true today, even if the settlement does happen at Paramount, Dana.
Yeah, and we do all now see the full transcript, which probably feeds into the statements that you were getting, calling it frivolous and junk.
So Trump's two biggest traits are probably that he lies every time he opens his mouth, and he sues everybody he sees damn near. If you displease him in any type of way, which is not hard to do, he gonna sue you. I mean, that really just goes to show what a spoiled, spoon up his ass baby this man really is. I mean, this isn't new. He's been doing this his entire life. And Donald Trump is the biggest narcissist anybody's ever seen, with the thinnest skin any man has ever had. So it's very easy to displease him and to hurt his feelings or to make him feel insecure. And he's a very vindictive individual. And what he does is either he tweets at you. If you're a politician, then he'll have his MAGA army vote you out of office in the next election, or he'll sue you. And as these gentlemen just pointed out, you know, part of the issue with that is how much court fees add up to, and Donald Trump can afford those things. But he's the pettiest man alive, so these are just some of the tactics that he goes about utilizing. And South Park got it just right in that first episode that they did, where he was going around like, I'm gonna sue you, because that's what he does. And he wins, and he has got half of corporate America, well, probably more than that, just completely bending the knee and doing whatever he'd like so that they can get their mergers and their tax cuts. And they've already gotten that with the big, beautiful bill. So now as the country burns and collapses, they can pretend like they didn't see any of this coming. But at the end of the day, they definitely saw it coming. But yeah, man, Donald Trump, if it's two things he gonna do, is he's gonna lie and he probably gonna sue you. So it's just best not to deal with him at all.